Thank you guys so much. It's hard not to get really, really discouraged sometimes about where we as a society are heading. But, you know, one of my greatest pleasures being with the Jefferson Council has been the opportunity to meet these fine, fine young people. And in just getting to know you gives me heart. So thank you very much. Okay, well, I'm up next. Yes, okay. And I'm going to talk about building a coalition of pluralism. I'd say it is a top priority of the Jefferson Council is to build a coalition of pluralism at UVA, a coalition of groups dedicated to free speech, open dialogue, and tolerance of other people's views. We have a lot of work to do. UVA has fallen a long way since Thomas Jefferson championed free speech and willingness to tolerate any error so long as reason is left to combat it. 5 years ago, the university conducted a survey of the campus climate. At that time, only 14% of faculty, staff, and students identified as very liberal, the farthest left category on the ideological spectrum in that particular survey. 39%, 2 out of 5, identified as either moderate or conservative. If we include those calling themselves slightly liberal, presumably embracing the traditional liberal views of openness and tolerance, then a clear majority, 54% of the university community, was non-woke. Perhaps that's why a more recent survey, 2023 by FIRE, ranked UVA 24th among 208 universities in its free speech index. That's not too shabby. Unfortunately, the findings were a mixed bag. Wahoo's ranked only 115 for openness and 121 for comfort in expressing ideas to professors and peers. Not so good. One of the questions I frequently ask myself is, if more than half the community is non-woke, why are far-left rhetoric and culture so dominant? Why do students censor themselves? The answer is simple. The radical 14% control institutions within UVA that stifle free thinking. Let me enumerate several reasons that come to mind. The Cavalier Daily has been mentioned on more than one occasion so far, leads the cancel culture parade. We saw that in how it treated Bert Ellis. And in this crowd, that needs no elaboration. Student Council is dominated by a handful of groups organized around identity. Blacks, Latinos, women, LGBTQTs, Asians, foreigners, that can mobilize students to vote. Council's resolutions and pronouncements mirror the woke obsessions of those organizations. The Twitter outrage mob is a phenomenon mainly of wokesters. It has the power to shame and silence those who offend its ever-morphing sensibilities. UVA itself maintains a bias reporting tool that sweeps up insults and microaggressions along with serious offenses. The Title IX bureaucracy subjects offenders to intimidating grilling that would make any sensible person think twice about transgressing their woke code, whether they are ultimately sanctioned or not. Job applicants and employees are required to file diversity statements detailing their commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The administration makes it clear that some views, I judge individuals based on merit, I treat everybody the same, are not what they're looking for. Conservative faculty are an endangered species. As one student told me, conservative students know who the conservative faculty members are, all 7 of them. When the intellectual environment is a monoculture, the only meaningful debate that takes place is between different factions of the left. Other views are treated as fringe. Students with moderate and conservative views are outnumbered, isolated, beaten down, and disconnected. They feel alone. Fighting back is seen as a losing proposition. Why bother? It's easier to retreat from the public sphere into their studies and social life and stay out of trouble. Fortunately, islands of pluralism at UVA still exist. The Jefferson Council has created a student liaison committee headed by Ann McLean, who you just heard, to bring together leaders of scattered student groups, introduce them to one another, and let them know they are not alone. These include the College Republicans, Young Americans for Freedom, the Network of Enlightened Women, the Edmund Burke Society, the Federalist Society, and the Jefferson Independent Student Newspaper. Members of these groups are here with us today. We just heard from some of them. Let's express our appreciation for their courage in standing up for pluralistic principles. There's plenty of room to grow this coalition. We've reached out to fraternities and sororities, hoping to persuade them that the wokesters see the Greek system as a relic of white supremacy and want to destroy us. We haven't had much luck getting them involved in student politics. In fact, it transpires that some of the Greeks are pretty woke themselves, but the effort is only beginning. As time permits, we intend to reach out to Christian organizations, Jewish groups, and others who might feel alienated by UVA's relentlessly secular culture. Our message to students: don't be timid, speak out, stand up for yourselves. We've got your back. If you have an issue, we can publicize it. We can litigate it. We can even take it to the Board of Visitors, where we now have a few friends. The Coalition of Pluralism includes faculty and parents. Alan Stam heads our faculty committee, while Bill Cole heads our parents committee. We're partnering with Larry Sabato's Center for Politics to bring columnist George Will to the grounds in 2 weeks. Larry is nobody's idea of a conservative, but he believes passionately in diversity of thought and the debating of ideas. Hopefully, the George Will speech will create a template for future collaboration with the center. We also stay in touch with the Blue Ridge Center, which supports a variety of programs to expose students to a wider range of views. And we've reached out to the Heterodox Academy, a group of faculty and staff committed to promoting viewpoint diversity, open inquiry, and constructive disagreement. Blue Ridge and Heterodox don't need much help from us, but that's okay. We play different roles. They work within the system, within the rules, within the establishment. We apply pressure from without. But we all share the same broad goals, and we'll assist them any way we can. Within a year or two, Bert and his fellow Republicans on the Board of Visitors will have a majority. But they cannot transform UVA by themselves. We have to help change the campus culture as well. Although we have a long way to go, we've made great strides in building a coalition of faculty, students, parents, and even the occasional administrator who share our vision. In the spirit of Thomas Jefferson, we all aim to make UVA the most exciting place in the world to teach, learn, and do research. Thank you.